This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, good evening, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST, watched by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm Tim Daniel, and tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The biggest stage in world soccer is here. Let there be goals on FanDuel. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Well, on tonight's show, we're going to talk about the fact that we got news during the game that Chase Burns and Sal Stewart are all-stars. TJ Friedel grounds to a double play that wasn't really necessary. Hunter Greene has a so-so debut. So-so's probably putting it nicely, and yet the Reds find a way to lose again. This time to the Baltimore Orioles, 8-5.
This is what you'll be talking about.
So the Reds are on the verge of being swept by the Baltimore Orioles. Now, you can go through their lineup, and I talked about this yesterday, and you go, oh yeah, you know, Gunnar Henderson, Jackson Holliday, Adley Rutschman, Samuel Basallo, Pete Alonso. Those guys are all really good. You're correct. But this team stinks. The only issue is the Reds stink more than the Orioles stink. And that's the part that's frustrating. Is tonight, the Reds out hit the Orioles. The Reds had the lead in this game at one point, and the Reds still could not close it out. Now, we're going to get to the Hunter Greene stuff here in a second for the second segment. But I just don't understand how we keep having the same show every single night, it feels like. So tonight, they go 4 of 14 with runners in scoring position. They leave 9 on base. Look, I know we're going to talk about Hunter Greene not having the most ideal return to the mound, but if you're having that happen on a night-to-night basis, which the Reds are, nothing matters. 4 of 14 with runners in scoring position. And 9 left on base. And every time we come in here, we have a loss like this, we have these conversations. That's the thing I point to every time, right? How many guys did they leave in scoring position? How many guys did they leave on base? Because it is a common thing that they constantly do. They are the worst team in baseball with runners in scoring position batting-wise. I don't know. I feel like if you're the worst at a category of anything that's not a positive, then changes need to be made. Chris Faleka wanted him to be successful here. I don't think it's successful, man. Your team can't hit. Situational hitting does not exist. Gregory Gardner says, call up Hector Rodriguez. Yes, 100% call up Hector Rodriguez. 100%. We're going to get to a lot of other reasons why here throughout the show. But I'm trying to do the thing I keep telling you guys I'm going to do, where it's like I find the guys that I really enjoy watching play, and I just watch those guys play and enjoy. And that's how I'm going to enjoy the rest of the season. Ellie's swinging the bat really well right now. Sal Stewart is Sal Stewart. I mean, he's been awesome. All-star, like we said. JJ Bleday has been meh. Why is he trying to stretch? They're down 4. Why is he trying to stretch that into a double? That's another just one of these things the Reds do where you're like, what are you thinking? I don't understand the thought process here. I love that Gino had 2 hits tonight and had a couple RBI. I thought he was pretty solid today. Nathaniel Lowe, I've just given up on. I don't see any reason to. I don't know. I mean, what is he giving this team right now? He's like, the OPS looks great, but he's 3 for his last 18 with 9 strikeouts. He hasn't hit a homer in, gosh, when was the last time he hit a homer? If anyone had to guesstimate, I'm going to look this up while we're talking about this, and I'm going to keep venting about the Reds because this is a game that was just simply put maddening. And the fact that they just continue to have these games that are incredibly maddening and just continue to frustrate us is really irritating, because this is a season that we all thought was going to be better than it is, right? And this just is what it is. No need to fight it. No need to be mad about it anymore. It just is what it is. May 29th is the last time Nathaniel Lowe hit a homer. Okay. May 29th. And that guy's consistently getting DH at-bats. Now, last year, when it was Ellie De La Cruz going through this, we were saying, like, dude, they need to set him down. He needs to rest. Something's not right. We kept chugging along. And turns out old Nick puts his foot in his mouth later in the year and says, like, well, he was playing with this all year. And it's like, of course. So I don't think it's one of those because Nathaniel Lowe is not the athlete Ellie was by any stretch of the matter. But he's not giving them anything right now. And like I said, JJ Bleday is JJ Bleday. Like, I know he's got 2 years left. I'm willing to have him back on the team next year. Hasn't been very good since May. This is what it is. Jose Trevino, though. Did you think we'd be having this conversation about Jose Trevino? Listen to my man last 7 games. A 417 batting average with a 417 on base and a 625 slugging. 10 for his last 24 with 4 runs scored. My man, Jose Trevino, who I said the Reds should not ever let back on the big leagues team. I'm an idiot. Is living it up right now, getting that 646 OPS. Both catchers are hitting pretty well right now. Tyler Stevens has hit pretty well for about a month now. So that's one positive we can take away from this, but it's so-so. Let's get to Hunter Greene here because I know that's the thing we're all looking forward to today. And we're so excited he was me back. And Nikita says Trevino might be the starting catcher next year. You're probably right. He might be the starting catcher in August at this rate if Stevens keeps doing what he's doing with ABS and Cap Powers because he's not signing back. He's not going to be back on this team next year. Here's what I'll say about Hunter Greene. So was tonight good? No, it wasn't. Did everything go wrong that could have gone wrong? Yes. Yes, it did. But here's the nice things I'll say about it. Yes, you want him to be better. He will be better. I think we all can count on that. I mean, he's not going to give up 8 runs every time he's on the hill. He has a break after his next start because the All-Star break's right after it. So he'll kind of have some time to kind of get back in a groove and kind of rest his body and kind of just like watch some more film of what didn't go right. Maybe this next start, he's really good. So if I have my calculations right, he'll start. They're off Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So he'll start the first Cubs game on Friday. If I have that correct. I might be wrong. It might be Saturday. Hopefully, because I'm going to be at the game Saturday. But the things I'll take away from it are not necessarily the 8 runs, though. Yeah, you want to see that come down. But I'm not worried about him. He's had bad outings before, and he's had seasons where his first start of the year has been pretty bad, and he's had really good years. It's been pretty common. The goods I'll take away from it is the 7 strikeouts. I thought the slider looked really good for the most part in the game. He was kind of like putting it on a tee. He was dotting it. I thought just didn't have the control of his fastball he normally has. Obviously, they mentioned he was like trying to work another pitch in, so I don't know how much he threw the 2-seamer. I don't remember off the top of my head. But the 7 strikeouts and the fact that the later he got into the game, he'll still hit 98, 99 on the radar. I'm not worried. It may take him a couple starts to kind of get back to being Hunter Greene, but I suspected this was a possibility. Go Bengals 75s. Do you think Tito left Hunter in too long? Brentley was saying he should get pulled 3 hitters before he did. Yeah, actually, I'm glad you said this, Go Bengals, because I do think that he did. When Hunter Greene goes out there for the 4th inning, the Reds are winning the game. And they had that really awesome second inning where they put a bunch of runs on the board and had you feeling pretty good, right? TJ Friedel's got a triple. So, yeah, I certainly don't have don't mind him going out because I'm sure they had a set amount of pitches he was going to throw, but it probably was one of those things where they probably could have afforded for him to not go there because the bullpen had another night where they were really good. Especially Garcia and Louder pitching the last 5 innings. So I don't know. Nikita says at this point, why push Greene? The team is very unlikely to make a postseason run. Agreed. And I think you can tame him down a bit after the trade deadline, particularly in August. But I'm sure Hunter Greene was itching at the bit to get out there and get on the hill. And I don't know if the Reds really had a choice but to, because everything's kind of bad right now. All right, let's go to break. And when I come back, I'll talk about the TJ Friedel ground to a double play that I absolutely hated the decision making on. But first, a big thank you to our friends at Amazon for this limited break. This back-to-school season, spend less on your kids with Amazon. We all know how crazy back-to-school shopping experience can be. It starts with a few items on the list, then suddenly you're shopping for supplies, clothes, lunch gear, tech, and about 10 other things you didn't see coming. It adds up fast. When you buy clothes for back to school, then your kid has a growth spurt 2 weeks later, and you're right back where you started. Sometimes it genuinely feels like they're growing faster than your budget can keep up. When you're buying supplies and find yourself asking how a calculator became one of the more expensive items in the cart, I wasn't expecting math to start costing me money before school even began. It feels like there's a life lesson there somewhere. I'm still trying to figure it out. When the teacher's supply list arrives and somehow every item feels completely reasonable on its own, then you add everything together and realize just how much stuff one kid needs for one school year. So remember, with Amazon's low back to school prices, just spend less on your kids because every dollar you don't spend on them is a dollar you haven't spent on them. Shop back to school at Amazon and spend less on your kids. Want to give a shout out to my everydayers here on the postcast. Thank you so much for spending some time with me. It's definitely great to see you all. Also, I hope you all are having an awesome Independence Day, celebrating with all the fireworks and everything like that. By the way, really liked the Independence Day unis that the teams wore today. Thought the hat was great. I like the flag and the numbers. I thought they looked great. I may get one when they're like $50 when they're 50% off on Fanatics here in a couple months when the season's over. But yeah. If you're an everydayer, go ahead and step up that everydayer game with the Locked On Reds Everydayer Club at lockedonreds.supercast.com. Get access to ad-free episodes of all your favorite Locked On Red shows. Say you want to follow me over to Locked On Cavs during the basketball season, I'm over there because believe me, the way things are going, it sounds like that's going to be really fun this year. You can also get access to our Discord chat where all of your favorite Locked On hosts are in there talking ball, and we love talking ball with you. I'm going to play the second guess game here because I don't understand one of the decisions that was made in this game.
Since hindsight is always 20/20, let's deliver today's second guess.
Now, TJ Friedel grounds into a double play when the Reds look like they have a rally going. And now, mind you, the person who hits behind Friedel in the order is Matt McLain, who has not had a hit since the 60s at this point, it feels like. And so Baltimore goes and they go and bring in, let me make sure I get all this correct because it was a lot. They bring in Grant Wolfram to face Friedel. This is a lefty on lefty thing. And I know that I'm the guy that said don't bunt. I stand by that. They didn't bunt. Friedel hits into a double play. I'm going to ask this, and I'm going to go ahead and throw reverse splits out the window because I know someone will try to bring this up to favor their argument as well. I know that TJ Friedel is not likely going to run into one. I know that TJ Friedel is likely not going to put one in the outfield. I know he had a triple earlier, and you could be like, Tim, what are you getting at here? What I'm getting at is Noelvi Marte was sitting there, and we know Noelvi Marte of late. He's not doing much, but what he is doing, he's getting some power. He's getting some power swings. He's putting the ball in play, and he's sometimes just hitting him over the wall in the outfield. And you can't be like, what about defense there? If you're playing Matt McLain in center field now, you can push him back to center. You can make all your drastic moves, Spencer Steer here, Sal Stewart here, all that jazz that you guys like to do so much. So you had options there. I just feel like when they brought Woodruff in and you let Friedel in the batter's box, and the first pitch he sees, he hits into a double play, and you're rolling there, right? Like you have a chance to kind of get back in the game. There's no outs. You have runners on first and second. Chance to kind of get back in the ball game, and you go that route. I know someone's going to come in here and be like, that's typical Terry Francona. Yes, there's some things I wish he would do better. That is one where I'm like, buddy, we got to do better than this. And I know TJ Friedel's been swinging the bat better of late the last couple games, and I know he's got a lot of extra base hits of late. We know who he is. We know that that's a typical thing for him at this point. He doesn't have any speed down the line. He runs like he is an eraser chasing him down the line. There's no need for him to be hitting there. I would have rolled the dice with Noelvi Marte and lived with what I got. I know Friedel is not going to consistently do that for me. And you have options where defensively where you're not stuck out there. So that's my thought process on that there, but we'll see. We do have to give a Locked On player of the game.
This is the Locked On player of the game.
How about my man Jose Trevino being this close to going 4 for 4 tonight? that hit at the end of the game, in the ninth inning. I mean, that was a really nice play by their center fielder, so I want to give him credit. But that was something that didn't really do. But hey, Ellie De La Cruz keeps swinging the bat really well. And yeah, you guys are probably sick of me talking about Ellie De La Cruz. I'll never be sick of talking about Ellie De La Cruz. He's getting back in the swing of things. His last 7, a 345 batting average, a 424 on base, and a 483 slugging. And here's my favorite part. 3 stolen bases, as he stole a base again tonight. Run Ellie. Hashtag Run Ellie. Is that the thing? I don't know. I'm old now. I turned 37 in like 2 weeks. So I'm still trying to be hip and cool and hold on to the vibes. We did get some good news in the game today. That 2 Reds under the age of 23 and under, I think I have that right, are going to the All-Star game. As it was announced during the game that Sal Stewart and Chase Birds will be All-Stars for the National League this year. And that's super cool. And someone's going to come on here, I'm sure, and be like, why wasn't Ellie picked? That's BS. It's bullcrap. I agree, but I don't panic in these situations because, let's be honest, Ellie's going to make the All-Star game. Do you think Major League Baseball wants to leave Ellie De La Cruz out of the All-Star game? No way, Jose. Whether it's, an injury designation that he gets a spot in, or it's like a manager pick, he's getting in the game. No one worry. I saw a lot of people were like on social media, like, why didn't he get in there? He'll be there. And then Sal and Chase totally deserve it. I mean, Chase is a guy who, I don't know how many more innings he's going to throw this year, but certainly has a case to be in the Cy Young Award, Chase. And then Sal Stewart, as you know, like him and JJ Weatherhold have basically narrowed down to those 2 guys for Rookie of the Year. So it's really cool to see. There's so much young talent here. I just wish that they had an ownership who wanted to win, and we weren't here watching Nick Krall say dumb things, put his foot in his mouth all the time, and put the Reds behind the 8 ball each and every year. Such is life. That is life as a Reds fan. But hey, there are fireworks going insane in my street right now. So I should probably get out of here before it just like one goes through my window or something, because it feels like it's dangerously close to my office. But the Reds are losers today to the Baltimore Orioles, 8-5. The Orioles have 8 runs on 10 hits and no errors. The Reds have 5 runs on 11 hits and an error. Your winning pitcher tonight is Brandon Young. He is now 7-2 with a 3.38. Hunter Greene takes the loss. He is 0-1 with a 21.6 ERA. That's not going to look that ugly for long. And then Tyler Wells, for the second straight night, gets his second save of the year. And hey, the Reds are back at it tomorrow against the Orioles, looking to avoid the sweep at Great American Ballpark. As Nick Lodolo takes the hill for the Reds, he is 2-2 with a 5.05 ERA. He'll be going against Kyle Bradish, who is 5-8 with a 3.77. First, really important to note, just to make sure we get this out there in case you haven't seen, tomorrow's game is going to be a Peacock broadcast. And what's cool about this is Peacock, I believe, is broadcasting every single big league game tomorrow. So that's pretty neat. And first pitch will be at 1:05, so it'll probably be on about 3:45-ish or so. But everyone, go enjoy the rest of your 4th of July. Stay safe out there. I don't like fireworks. They just don't like them. But I'm Tim Daniel. Go Red Legs. Have a great night. I'll see you all tomorrow.